Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. It's Thursday. It's Thursday Tier Talk. We've got plenty to talk about. We're going to be talking about Champions League. We're going to be previewing the Premier League. Not sure if we have a few bets for tonight or
not at the minute, but
yeah,
that's not something I'll be stuck for by the time we get to the end. Put it that way.
Perfect. So we will have something to talk about betting wise as well. I didn't get a chance to do one today.
You've really taken your foot off the gas, when we talk about beat the bookie.
This is what happens when you're doing about 10 podcasts a week.
Will I give everyone a little flavour of what happened to me last weekend?
Yeah, go on, sure.
I'll give them that first, yeah?
Yeah.
And then that means I don't need to touch on it then later. We won't dwell on it. So I like to have an bet over the weekend. And last Sunday, I had a particularly nice bet in the North London Derby. It was a bet builder. It had 6 legs. The first leg was Arsenal to win. We know that happened. The second leg, good evening, Captain Caramel. The second leg of the bet was that both teams would score. We also know that happened. Leg number 3 was a goal or an assist by Declan Rice. We got that. Leg number 4, goal or assist from Eberechi Eze. We got that. We're 4 for 4. We have a card for Rodrigo Bentancur, and we got that. And then our final leg of our 100.8 to 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So paid just over €1,000 was a guy who I used to like, and I don't anymore because he cost me a bag of sand, was Richarlison for a card. As you can see, 5 out of 6. Richarlison let me down for €1,000 off a €10 bet builder. Gutted is not the word, and let's not forget, if you watch the game, he probably should have had 2 cards for the shithousery that went on inside the box, and then the stuff that happened over near the halfway line at the end when he ran over 20 yards to shove someone, and I was like, book the little rat, book it, and I'm screaming at it, and everyone in the house knows I'm waiting on a Richarlison card, so they're now screaming, book the little rat, and it didn't happen. Michael Oliver, you let him off the hook, pal.
Just 1 second.
I have to say, I am loving your festive thumbnail with our American cousins, obviously celebrating Thanksgiving today.
Yeah.
And we have Bournemouth's Tyler Adams, Leeds' Brendan Aronson. We have Crystal Palace's Chris Richards and Anthony Robinson of Fulham, the 4 Yanks, all there at the table. There's the turkey, cranberry sauce, mashed potato, gobble, gobble, the whole. Looks great, doesn't it? I love that. Enjoy that. Big Thanksgiving to all our cousins in the US who are celebrating today. Big happy Thanksgiving to them. Enjoy the Black Friday sales tomorrow. I am heartbroken that I won't be there for it.
We'll still be online, though.
Yeah, listen, we'll do a bit of damage online, but it's not the same as in person, I have to say.
Do you know what? This amazes me, right? Now, we were disastrous last night. There's no doubt about it, and we will talk about it, of course. But do you know how many Man United fans have been going in on me today? These are the same Man United fans who lost 1-0 to a 10-man Everton last weekend.
It's kind of a different scale. We haven't lost 9 out of 12 now, let's not forget.
No.
And we lost 1-0 to Everton, not 4-1 to PSV. So, let's...
You've lost to worse.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Was I the one that went in on you?
No, absolutely not.
Do I tend to be the one that goes in on you? Absolutely not.
Very little.
I'm not that guy.
No.
I'm more worried about what happens in Old Trafford than Anfield. That's my bag.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was interesting though. But I'm collecting them.
You're collecting the receipts.
They're all getting screenshot for a slideshow. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. Don't worry.
So's Christmas though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would like to say happy Thanksgiving to all our subscribers in the States or anyone who views the content and stuff like that, and everyone around the world who celebrates Thanksgiving and stuff like that as well. So happy Thanksgiving. Right, let's get in and talk some Champions League. This will be small for you.
Shit competition. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, you feel you weren't getting it in the neck off me. That's for sure, because I'm kind of not that guy either. But don't worry. I'll say
you're a little bit more of that guy than I would be, I have to tell you now.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
But you've only had a decade of heat. I had 30 years of it. I have a bigger cross to carry and a bigger axe to grind than you.
Yeah, maybe.
You have 20 more years to go before you get to the point that I get to. So I like to think it's all relative, you know. But that's okay.
And I couldn't disagree with you either, you know what I mean?
Baz sent me a lovely one today. It was 3 bobbles. I think it was Mo Salah and a couple of Liverpool fans, bobbles on the Christmas tree. And it goes, 8 more losses till Christmas. Which, listen, I enjoyed and I take it in good jest and all. That's all right. It's good. I love the banter. Marky sent me a beauty as well. Marky sent me one, and it was Arne Slot walking out as if he had gotten the bullet, and who was right beside him? Your man Enoch Burke. No, the lad, the teacher. Right. So like these boys, they're going in well. Phil, you don't worry about it, Phil. You're one of the good ones. It's all good. I take the banter very, very well. Don't worry. So look at my match reaction even this morning at 7:30 with the hoodie on and all. It was a bit of a cold morning, but we did it.
Were you in the midst of letting doggies in and out? No, was that how it went?
No, do you know what actually happened? I recorded the video. It was about 20 minutes long, and right on the last 15 seconds of it, that doorbell went off, ding, ling, ling, and the first dog arrived. So I got on it straight away. I forgot my breakfast and all before the video and all, which is normally not my thing. I normally have a cup of tea while doing it, so there you go. Right, talk to me. Champions League. What do you think? So I suppose I'll start with Arsenal. Very impressive.
Well, I'll actually start with Chelsea.
Equally as impressive.
And for me, you know, we spoke about this. We spoke about part of this last night. I had a bet last night. I had Arsenal about to score. I thought Arsenal would beat Bayern. You know, so I kind of was. Listen, it's a toss of a coin. Bayern are a great team, but I thought Arsenal would have their number, and obviously they beat them. I didn't think Chelsea would have Barcelona's number. So that for me was a much bigger result. Now, listen, I think the Araujo sending off has an impact, but I think 11v11, Chelsea are still the better team. I have to give flowers. Oh, God. I have to give flowers. Hold on, I'm getting the flowers.
Phil, was that the one this morning, or was it which one was it?
Niall.
I do a lot of Shankly sessions. Yeah.
Niall.
Flowers there, is there?
I'm giving flowers.
Okay, go on.
I'm giving flowers to a guy that I really don't like. And it's hurt me to give these flowers. However, when I see something, I can't just decide, you know, that it's not my cup of tea because I don't like this guy.
Was this a man who made one of our teams of the season? So far when we did them, I think it was. I think he was in my team, if it's the right guy we're talking about.
He might have been, I think. He might have been. Mark Cucurella was just...
sublime.
He was unbelievable. He really was. I'm not a fan. I think he's petulant. I think he's tetchy. I think he's the left-back version of Richarlison. I just think he makes me skin crawl. I don't like the guy, but I don't need to like him in order to respect the guy. And I have to tell you, he was absolutely unbelievable on Tuesday night. So, Mark Cucurella,
yeah, well done.
I applaud you.
I forgot that, Phil, there. I had Chewy was on me lap down the podcast as well this morning, as he does and stuff like that.
He must have thought I was around the corner and got up just to get away from me, was he? He was giving it a bit of, where's that ugly lad gone?
Me and him are breakfast buddies. We're breakfast buddies.
He knows what happens at the breakfast table, does he?
Yeah, he sits up at the island and he gets his little toast with his bit of butter on it and all, Look, he gets well looked after.
Sure, listen, what else would you be at, huh?
Acers is in. Sunday will be interesting contest between Chelsea versus Arsenal. It will.
It might be, yeah.
We will talk about it in a bit. Who else we want to? So obviously Arsenal very, very good against Bayern Munich. Atleti beating Inter. It's a good result. Atalanta win a 3-0 away to Frankfurt as well. I'm trying to. So you know the match I'm trying to avoid here. I'm rattling down all.
Well, just so you have it there, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of course, again, I had a couple of bets last night. And I went very close last night as well. I knock on a lot of doors. There's not loads that open, but I do knock on a lot. And last night, the door I knocked on, I had Arsenal about to score.
Yeah.
Real Madrid about to score.
Yeah.
And the third leg was just Frankfurt to win. Not about to score.
Ooh.
And that was paying 48-1. And
I'm surprised you went against your boys Atalanta. You're normally an Atalanta fan, aren't you, a bit?
They haven't been amazing this season.
Yeah.
I told you I did the 5 goal scorers. I was close there. I did a 16 accumulator. My PSG, Atletico, Real, Arsenal. And then I had Liverpool and Frankfurt. They let me down as well.
Acers, Tottenham losing 5-3 to PSG is not woeful. Liverpool losing 4-1 to PSV at Anfield.
Absolutely.
That's horrific.
He doesn't always come up with great suggestions here. Do you know what I did see earlier on? I saw a clip earlier on where the PSG Ultras visited the Under-19 Champions League game. This was PSG versus Spurs. PSG's Under-19s beat Spurs 5-2, and then the first team beat them 5-3. So it was 15 goals in the 2 games. And that is just crazy, isn't it?
Is there any chance those Ultras could fit as the AXA training centre for a change?
Isn't that unbelievable? That's possibly not something you want, because that could go the other way.
There you go. Joanne called a few good results, I think, at the weekend as well, if I remember from last week's show as well.
She got a couple. She didn't get as many as I did because she sent me hers on Saturday, don't forget. Right, Joanne?
Nice. Quick chat about Liverpool. Where are we at?
How quick do you want to make it?
As quickly as possible, because I've done a bunch of shows on them now, plus short, so... There's no way of turning this around, is there? Because he ain't got the tools to turn it around.
I think the biggest issue he has is I don't believe he had a big enough hand, actor part in the recruitment in the summer, right? And I think because of that, he's been landed with a load of guys that maybe he doesn't really know what to do with and how to fit them all in at the same time and that kind of thing. So with that in mind, I think it's quite harsh on him. And I think, maybe if he asks you for a square, give him a square, not a rectangle. They're similar, but they're not quite the same. And, it makes situations really difficult. And I look at the bench the other night, last night, and you're thinking, okay, yes, he has Isak, obviously. But, after Isak, he doesn't have a lot. And with 450 million spent, that's really poor.
Well, he started with Ekitike.
That's what I'm saying.
Isaac.
Yeah, so he if he starts with Isaac, he has Ekitike and vice versa. So he'll only ever have one of them to take off the bench unless he goes the whole hog. The only one thing I will say, and when we spoke about Amarin and about United, we talked about how he was very, very stern on not changing the approach away from the system and how he wanted to do it. He played a system at Sporting, and he felt like that was the system that he wanted to play and stuff like that. And you need certain players to be able to play that formation, right? And I don't think we quite have the players just yet for the formation. I think we're getting closer every window. I think with Slot, he has the players to play a certain formation and a certain system, but it's not the one he wants to adapt and adopt. And that makes it difficult then because he has his style and he has the style that's maybe being pushed on him from the pens in the background, from Hughes and what's the other lad called? Is it Mitchell?
Edwards.
Edwards and Hughes. That's Edwards and Hughes. And like at the end of the day, when we talk about recruitment, you know, like Slot's going to be the fall guy here. But is that fair if he hasn't been the guy that's brought the pieces into the club? Do you know what I mean? I know they're not going to sack themselves because why would they? Right? But I mean, I also believe this is why Jurgen Klopp said, I'm out, because he foresaw this. And somebody in the background told him that Edwards and Hughes were going to be the dictators of play and were going to be the guys who made the signings. And because of that, Klopp wasn't happy and Klopp went, I know. And that's why as well, when they announced Slot, they said, this is Arne Slot, our new coach. He's not our manager. Managers have a bigger, broader spectrum of things to do. He's our coach. He's going to coach the players. We pick up and drop on his lap. That's very unfair. That's really unfair.
But a lot of clubs these days are adopting that approach as well, where they're bringing in coaches and then they're using these people to. Now, I mean, let's be honest here. We can't sit here and turn around and say he had literally no say in players coming in and stuff like that. He must have had a certain amount of input into it and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, players don't get sacked; managers do. You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
I do think the only thing about that is right. And when we talk about, because I mentioned this today with a Liverpool fan, I spoke about Bayern. Bayern buy players for the system they play. And when it's time to get a manager in, they go and get a manager that they feel can work with the system that they want to play as a club. And then they have the players in the background to feed into it, right?
But would you not think in the summer, though, before this all evolved and shot out of the blocks and this $500 million nearly was blown into the bag and all that kind of stuff, do you not think a conversation might have been had about going forward? This is how we want to adapt. This is how we want to play going forward. If he has any reservations in relation to that, instead of looking like an absolute arse at the moment and how poor it is, if you have that kind of reservations, is that not the time to turn around and go, well, hang on a minute, guys, this is not how I play. This is not the way I do things. This is not the way I structure things. And if that doesn't sit with the boys, exit the building.
Do you know what I think part of the problem was that I firmly believe they had an idea of what they were trying to do, but they didn't quite get it done. So if you look at the recruitment, right, and here's my suggestions on it. I think they buy Jeremy Frimpong because they're going to play a 3-4-3, shall we say, right?
Yeah.
And they buy Kirkes for the other side. And if you're going to go and play that, I think the two boys probably do a better job than they are in a flat four.
Yeah.
You then obviously have, 2 of 3 or 2 of 4 in. You've got Jones, McAllister, Soboslai, and Gravenberch, 2 for 4 places, right? Which is perfect. You've got your nice number 10, who can be Wirtz and possibly can be Salah.
Mm-hmm.
You can have Salah as a 9, up beside an Isak or an Ekitike, and narrow it down and have guys come on the other side. So there's all that, but that just hits a wall when Mark Gahey doesn't happen. Because then you don't have the 3 to build from. Because if you go and get Mark Gahey, you've got Virgil's going to go in the middle. You got Gahey as the left side. You got Konate as the right side. Yeah. It lets the other 2 lads push much, much higher. You get to play the ball higher in the park. You've got Gahey who's good with the ball at his feet. Van Dijk who's okay with the ball at his feet. Konate who will have less defensive pressure in that situation. And I think things work much, much better. Gahey's a big issue. Not getting that deal done has pushed and forced a lot of that.
That's fine, but my counter-argument to that is we brought in Leone, so we could play 3 at the back. We also have Joe Gomez sitting on the bench. You know, we could also now. I'm not talking about the quality and the level.
You
I'm
bring
talking about
Leone in, and maybe he's gonna put him in and see how it works, right?
And he didn't.
First game.
And
first game he blows up.
We haven't played this formation yet.
But I don't believe. But I don't believe at any stage have you had everyone fit and available to play it either.
Well, we did at the start of the season.
I don't think he did at the start.
We did because he got hurt in a cup game.
Yeah, but by the time he came in, right, I think there was 2 or 3 league games. But don't forget, at that stage, you don't have Isak either.
But
he's late in the window.
But he was getting named on benches, so he was available.
No, I think you're pushing it a little bit.
But I'm not. But if you look at us at the moment, every player from 1 to 11 is fucking dirt at the moment. All 11 players last night were horrific. There's no one coming out of that game last night unscathed. Every single
absolutely not. To a man, they were very poor.
So if that's the case, is that not something more underlining? Like if the drop off, you look at McAllister's drop off, Kanate is like unbelievable. The fact that he has representatives sitting across the table from Hughes and Edwards trying to get 290 grand out of us a week is shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. You've got Virgil van Dijk now looking like I don't know what he's doing at the moment. Absolutely insane stuff. You know what I mean?
Is it? And I know I used this when we spoke about Amran. When Amran puts a team out on the pitch, right, especially when he was having, let's call it his bad period, yeah? When Amran put a team out on the pitch, is it fair to say he can legislate for all those individual errors? I don't think it is. Because I think if you put the best player out you have in that position to do a job, and he does, an 8 out of 10 job, but makes 1 howler and it costs you.
But Kanate's been 2 out of 10 all season.
Can you see what I'm saying, though?
No, I know what you're saying. You can't legislate for a handball like that.
No.
You can't legislate for Kanate and the ball bouncing through him and your man running on and scoring the 3rd goal. You can't legislate for that. But Kanate's been horrific now, Darren, for 10 games. And he hasn't sat him down.
I won't argue with that. I won't argue with that. He's been terrible. He has been terrible.
When do we start like picking players on merit as opposed to the fear of...
Is Slot telling the 2 boys, Edwards and Hughes, I asked you to get me a centre-back. You didn't, and this is what we're left with because I can't play Gomez and he ain't good enough. Is that what he's saying?
But Darren, 9 of those players last night took to the pitch who got wiped off the floor by Forrest at the weekend.
This is why I'm saying it to you. Is he pushing the same lads out there to say to the boys in the background, this is all I have? No,
he's pushing the players out there because he's going to get fucking sacked. He's going to lose his job. And then it won't matter. Because there's no way in any shape, form, or fashion. I don't care if anyone believes Kanate is a better defender than Joe Gomez. I'm okay with that conversation that you want to have, but not in the current form at the moment. You've got Joe Gomez sitting on the bench at the moment who must be looking, what has to happen here for me to get a shout in here? You've got Chiesa sitting on the bench, probably the same thing. You've Curtis Jones. You've Mo Solidaire at the moment taking 400 bags a week out of that club. He's part of the senior player group. And he will not give an interview at the moment with things going shit. And they had to roll out Curtis Jones last night to turn around and be honest. If you looked at Curtis Jones post-match, where he turned around and he said, players need to start run more. They need to start pressing more. They need to start banging into lads. They need to start being a bit more aggressive. This is Curtis Jones throwing shade at his own players that they need to fucking fix up. Like, how bad does it have to be?
I had a little bit of a problem with what they did last night after the game. I don't think it was fair to push Curtis Jones out there. I wouldn't describe Curtis Jones as one of the senior players in that group.
But you know what happened? But you know what happened last night? What happened last night, they went to everyone else, all the hide and seek champions, because things aren't going well, and they arrived at Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones said, yeah, I'll go out and give an interview. Fuck it, I'm the local lad.
So my 2 thoughts on it were, number 1, why have they pushed Jones? I don't think it's cool. I don't think he's the kind of senior figure that, the fans wanted to see after a game like that, right? And I think the other thing was, and you've just touched on it, is I think they kind of went, you're the local lad. You go out and take the hit. It won't be as bad for you because you're from 5 minutes down the road, right? And I don't like that either. I don't like
absolutely that. No, he should not.
I wasn't happy with that.
You got Virgil van Dijk at the moment, every post-match game interview, his chin is in his fucking chest. He's like Ange Postecoglou talking to the floor. This is supposed to be the guy. You know what I mean? It's horrific at the moment on every single level. And if Slot's rolling the dice at the moment, trying to send a message to the boys up in the office, that guy's not going to have a job shortly anymore. It won't matter then. It won't matter. It won't matter. The bulk of that team there, a lot of that team that's there at the moment is the team that was heavily involved in it. I'd say it wouldn't be so bad if this wasn't a title-winning team from last season. You know what I mean? This is a team that won the title last season, and arguably, I would argue, and I've said it on podcasts, this is probably taking everything into account. Probably one of the worst title defenses in the history of the Premier League era.
There's one thing, I spoke about this earlier, and I'm going to mention it again now. Klopp left Liverpool in a really good position. Yeah? In a really, really good position. I think Slot kind of rode on the coattails of what Klopp had done and on what he had built, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he came in and there was a tactical masterclass last year. I think we saw a lot of same. Very
subtle changes that made a difference.
So, you know, what did they say? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And I think he was really clever in that, right? Because it wasn't broken. And he said, okay, we're not going to fix it.
It was probably an education system for him as well, because he was only in the door as well.
We'll shape it, we'll mold it, but we don't need to try and reinvent the wheel here, right? And I think he was very clever. But I think now, when you're looking for him to tactically make a change, to do something, he is being found out slightly.
But last year, his in-game tactics were really, really good as well. We've seen him come back and win matches last season by changing the formation 3 times in one game. So it's not like he doesn't know what to do. It's just
is there sometimes that there can be an element of luck about things, about certain things?
Listen, I said it this morning. I said winning the league last season, a lot of it had to do
because Arsenal and City dropped off the face of the planet.
And that was a big part of it. And then we had built up a big lead and we were kind of coasting week in, week out.
100%.
Once we went post-Christmas, there wasn't really any pressure on us. And then we were kind of like, when we did have to really stand up and be counted, like the Carabao Cup final, we fell on our sword. And also in the PSG game against PSG in the Champions League as well, where we really fell on our sword, where we were expected that's where we should go and do well in both of them. I mean, in theory, really, we should have been in a semi-final last year for the Champions League, and we should have won the Carabao Cup, but we didn't. Newcastle did. And there was warning signs there. You know, the league was just coasting along. You know what I mean? Like, we won it with 6 games to go. We were on the beach. We were partying.
I agree. You know? I do agree. I do. And I think everything like that meant things kind of fell in the right sort of manner for you guys. And, you know, I think with that in mind, there was a little bit to it that there was an element of luck where I think this year there's been more questions asked of him. And unfortunately, there's been very few answers.
Look, I expect West Ham fully to beat us this weekend.
Like, I definitely think it's in the realms.
If you just look at their goals from last season, that's our last week. That's our Achilles heel. Balls over the top, Callum Wilson like a speed demon. We will get carved up this weekend. And
don't forget, you've also got our friend, and I know you're a big fan of him, Jarrod Bowen.
Yeah.
Who's been playing very, very well. Like in their last couple of outings, obviously a great draw away from home, 2-2 with Bournemouth. They go home against Burnley, beat Burnley 3-2. They go home against Newcastle. They beat Newcastle 3-1. Like, they're starting to get the ball rolling here under Nuno. They're building a little bit of solidity. They'll definitely make it, you know, tough, dogged. They'll be resilient.
So if we lose this weekend, that's 10-13. I think.
Yeah, well, it's 9 and 12 at the minute, right? So it's 10
So
and
that's
13 then.
10-13 if we lose at the weekend. How can no one can justify that? I was looking at a thing the other day. If we hadn't come back in 3 of those first 5 games, we'd be battling down in 17th, 18th, 19th.
Like, I think if I'm Liverpool, right, the one issue I have here is, where am I going next?
Big up, Craig.
Hey, Craig, because I'd be a real happy Arsenal fan if I was an Arsenal fan as well, Craig. They're phenomenal at the minute, pal. Absolutely phenomenal, I have to say.
Craig, I've already packed it up, more or less. Unless they make a change, it's packed up already.
I think if they're contemplating making a change, they've got to have the guy lined up in the background so that we kind of start as we mean to go on. So, there's a whisper, there's a conversation had in the background, there's a phone call made. If it's Bournemouth, listen, lads, we really like Iriola. What's it going to take? It's going to take 10 million. Okay, grand, we'll pay it. Right? And okay, Iriola, what do you want from any backroom staff? How's it going to work? What position? How will you go about this? Well, I'll do the okay, grand. We're happy enough. Get it done, make it real clean. Liverpool have parted ways with Ernie Slot. That's fine. Day or two later.
Bring some Menyo with you.
Day or two, but later, Liverpool have appointed it. Let's not play around with it. No. Don't let it sit in the wind. Somebody needs to get in there really quickly to start moving this thing.
Yeah, I don't want to hear of putting Gerrard in as an interim and all to stabilise things, and we've been off this season and we just stabilise through for next season. No, that's another year in Virgil van Dijk's career, Mo Salah's career, Alisson's career, Robbo's career, gone again.
From what I believe, now again, believe all of what you see and half of what you hear. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
From what I believe, I don't think there's an opportunity to bin the rest of the season off with the restrictions with financial fair play if you were to go and not get a Champions League spot.
Spoke about it this morning.
Based on the forecast of what was going to come in and stuff like that. Liverpool were probably counting a trophy. They were probably counting a run in the Champions League to at least the quarters. And they were probably counting, a Champions League spot. Now, if that combined give you 100+ million and all of a sudden that's blown up, you might leave yourself a little bit short somewhere. And that 400 odd million that you've just spent might be a much bigger hole than you perceived it was going to be in.
So does that not mean that change needs to happen? Because he's not going to be able to turn it around because he hasn't got what he needs to turn it around for whatever way he wants to do it. And if we lose against West Ham at the weekend, we're in serious trouble of a top 5 spot. Serious trouble. Because there's teams above us playing well, playing real well.
I think already, and I don't think I'm being premature with it. I think already you're in a tussle for top 5. Like, I don't think at this stage it's a given you will get top 5 from where you are. Now, I know points wise, you're only actually 2 points off 5th. I think, don't forget, you've 18 points from 12 games. You had 15 from 5.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
If that slide continues, it would be very, very difficult to see him there any longer.
We've had 1 win since those 5 games, Aston Villa. Like, it's disastrous. It is disastrous, and it's in free fall. And if they don't make a decision,
well, you beat Villa, you battered Frankfurt, and you beat Real Madrid.
Yeah, we did.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, and then what did he do? Then he reverted back. He reverted back to fucking around with players and formations and positions and everything, and it came unstuck again. Why not just keep it going? What was working for those 3 games? Like, it makes sense. It makes no sense what's going on here at the moment. Players are horrific and they're playing. How is Mo Salah right now a starter?
Oh, that for me is... That's tough. That's tough.
He's
Knowing
terrible this season.
how bad he's been, like the war, like.
And I love
worst
him.
offenders.
I fucking love the guy. He's on
Course
the
you
wall
do.
there.
Course
I
you
love
do.
the guy.
The serial offenders for me here, Konate, dreadful. Kirkes, dreadful. McAllister, dreadful. And Salah, dreadful. The four lads have been absolutely disastrous.
McAllister. What has happened to McAllister? Did you see last night when your man picked up the ball in midfield and went through three of them? Went through three of them and popped out with the ball. Like, it's just three.
And like in the grand scheme of PSV teams, that ain't one of the good PSV teams that we've had over the years. That was, No,
they're doing well in the Dutch league, but let's be honest. Like I said it to you, we were talking last night during the game. Like, Perisic looking like he was 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
not 43.
My God, like, you know what I mean? You're letting this guy carve you up. Have you no shame?
Is that a worry? Is that a worry for you, or is that a blessing in disguise?
Which?
AFCON.
AFCON. What's say? I don't know. I don't know, because God knows what this guy might do if he's still around. I don't know what he did. He could go on a proper madness. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. Will they bring someone in? What will happen? Is Frimpong the guy who's going to go in there? I don't know what he might do. It's insane. It's insane. Puts Darman right back for one game. Curtis Jones right back for another game. Two potential right backs sitting on the bench. Make it make sense. Putting Darman to right back, like taking the engine out of our midfield. Like.
Somebody's just sent this to me. Did you see this from Virgil van Dijk on Instagram?
No. Well, he's deleted all his Liverpool stuff like Darwin, has he? Big bitch.
No. He's written a message. So there's a message and then there's a picture of him and the lads in the huddle, yeah?
Yeah. We got it,
and the message reads, "We're facing one of the toughest moments of our journey, but we refuse to let this define us. We will rise from this. I believe in this team with everything we have. Nothing has ever been handed to us. We fought for everything, and this moment is no different. We won't give in. We won't give up. Every challenge is an opportunity. We must grow together, lift each other up, and show the strength that lies within us. To the fans, keep supporting us. We all need each other more than ever right now."
You said that at nearly every post-match interview for the last 10, 11 games, right? And we've lost 9 of them or whatever it is. When are we going to fix up? How long is it going to take to fix up? I'm hearing this absolute bullshit about Isaac and all. Like, did Isaac do nothing in the summer? Did he not jog? Did he not run? Did he not kick a ball on a beach? What did he do when he went back to South Sociedad for a month to get out of the heat and all and stuff like this of Newcastle and all? And then he comes in, he's had no pre-season. It's fucking nearly December. How long does it take for a guy to get up to fucking match speed? It's a fucking joke. It's nonsense. The guy looks absolutely all over the camp. He came on last night and the first thing he did was fall on his fucking arse. Like, what the hell, like? You know
yeah,
I mean?
like...
Just, like, it's just insane, like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is my biggest problem. My biggest problem is there's 10, 11, 12, 15 players there, with the exception of probably Dom. Who else can you pick out? Ekitike's done all right when he's come in. He hasn't been too bad. Who else are you picking? Who else are we talking about? The rest have been junk.
Yeah, absolute junk. I think Dominic's been your best player by an absolute mile. A mile.
And what does that... And listen, he's had his dodgy moments at times this season as well.
And also, don't forget, and this is where I spoke about this in the summer. You had said, I think he's the guy to set out, right? You said, I think he's the one who could lose a spot. How bad a position could you guys be in right now if it wasn't for the shift he was putting in at times? Because he carried you at times. Okay, he hasn't carried you to those heights, but he's carried you from getting down here, which is,
But do you know what part of the issue is? And I looked at it last night as well. I looked at that game last night. and I know we're talking a bit too much about Liverpool. We'll go into the Premier League preview now in a second. Every single player vacated their responsibility last night. At one stage, we had one at the back. Like, and I know I get it that someone wants to be the guy to grab a match by the bollocks and take responsibility and stuff. At one stage, Virgil van Dijk wasn't even running back. He was just staying up forward. At one stage, our midfield was empty. They could have bet us last night 6-1.
Easily. But I think that's when panic starts to set in. Guys are... I know it's hard to say this, right? Especially when you look at the situation. But at times, I feel like guys are trying too hard.
But what's he saying on the sideline?
Do you know what I mean?
What's he saying to them? What's he coaching them on the sideline? When you see one standing at the back and PSV breaking away with 3 players and we look like we're about to cough up a 4th or a 5th before it happens and stuff like that. What is he saying when he looks out at that pitch and there's one defender at the back? Like, make it make sense. It makes no sense. These lads are all over the camp. They're going into business for themselves because you see McAllister last night, how frustrated he was. He was nearly knocking the bollocks out of himself at one stage. You know what I mean? But when are you going to actually do something? Like, when are you gonna reach a level that you reached last season? When are you gonna come back in and actually do something? When are players gonna actually look at what they're doing? And all I want is, you don't have to take responsibility for the team. You don't have to take responsibility for the result. Just take responsibility for your position. And if 11 of them do that, we'll produce a better performance. But everyone wants to point the finger at everyone else. I've never seen a captain of Liverpool Football Club point the finger as much as Virgil van Dijk.
There's definitely a lot of finger pointing. Yeah,
that's not good.
No, it's not. Because I think when it's gotten to that stage, I think, you know, it has got a little bit toxic, you know.
Yeah, it's insane. But listen, we'll move on because I could rant here all night just about Liverpool. You know what I mean? It's just,
don't let me stop you.
No, absolutely not. But it's you know, you can see what's unfolding here, and what happens is they're taking too long to do what needs to be done, and all of a sudden it's going to be gone away from us.
Are you taking him outside behind the shed and putting the bullet in his head?
100%.
Right.
100%. Listen,
did you think after 12? Do you think after 12 league games this season and 450 million spent in the summer and a Premier League title last season, somebody could have said, if you look at where, and I'm not bringing us into it for any other reason than the parallel, right? If you look at where we were and you look at what the narrative was with Amarin, you know, going to be the first manager sacked. He'd be gone in the first 5 games when you lose to Arsenal. Yeah, and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. And then you look at what was going on with Slot and stuff like that, and the money, and it's going to be the best season of our lives. We're going for the quad. Could anyone have foreseen that Slot would have been out the door before Amarin?
Oh no, not even in the first 5 games this season. Not even in the first 5 games this season. But listen, we spoke on those first 5 games as well, how we were skating our luck big time. And it still didn't look good.
The first night I remember distinctly, the 4-2 at home with Bournemouth. And it was like there was a big, deep breath from Anfield.
That big Monopoly get out of jail card.
Yeah, on the night, and when you did get you, it was like, ooh, big breath, and you were like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's just the problem that I have at the moment is if we don't make change and something changes, things are going to be out of sight. We're going to really struggle in the Champions League. We're going to be out of any top 5 race. It's going to be too much to take, and it's just change needs to happen. Listen, I loved him for what he did last season. There's no doubt about it. We really enjoyed the journey and stuff like that. We all had huge expectations this year, whether he brought in the players or they brought in the players. At the end of the day, you know, what can I do about it? You know, you can't spend 400 odd million and then start losing to the team that's in 19th. No,
who's your guy? Who's your guy? Who are you taking?
It has to be Iraola.
That's the way you're going.
He plays the system that we're trying to get to. So it has to be him. It has to be him. He'll play potentially the 3 with the wing backs. So who else are you going to go for? We're going to do bring Stevie G in and get all romantic, and then he goes to shite like an Aston Villa then, and then we vilify him as well, one of our heroes. No.
He hasn't played 3 at the back at all for Bournemouth.
No, but he plays progressively with guys much forward. He doesn't normally play with that real flat back four. You've seen it with Kerkez now. Kerkez is one of the best left backs in the league last season under Iraola.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? He does play a flat back four.
Yeah, I'd definitely bring him in. I'd definitely bring him in. He's my guy. He's the guy to come in. I don't want to hear about Gerrard. I really don't want to hear much about Alonso either. And I don't want to hear about an interim guy coming in to steady the ship this season and we go again. And then, you know, there's another year.
Is there any other names in the conversation for you?
I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it closely enough. I mean, Glasner could be a shoe.
I think anybody who needs a manager and doesn't look at Oliver Glasner is missing a trick here. I have to be honest with you. Because again, don't forget, probably the best component of the system in the league
is him, yeah.
Is him, and he's probably got the worst set of personnel for it. So
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know.
I think he has some really good players there that play that system for him.
You see, yeah. I think if I pick off a board and I go, do you want him, or him? I don't think his player is the guy you go to every time. However, like, I don't think anyone's running out the door to get Chris Richards, right? However, he does a real tidy job at what your man asks him to do. This is a serious case of, you know, the star of the show here, and I said this when Klopp was at Liverpool. The star of the show at Liverpool was always Klopp. The star of the show at Palace will always be Glasner. He's had Eberechi Eze and Michael Elise both leave his team, and he's replaced them with Ismail Assar and Jeremy Pino.
There's five players in that Palace team right now that walk into our starting lineup.
5.
Yeah. At least. Maybe more.
Okay, so slowly, do you take the keeper?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, so in the back 3, what are you taking? Lacroix and Gahey?
Yeah, there's 2. So we probably have 4. There's probably 6 then.
So right side. Are you taking Munoz?
100%.
See, I'm not sure you take Munoz when Frimpong plays in the wing back. But you haven't seen him play wing back at Liverpool because you've never played him there. Do you know what I mean? That's my point. I think I'd probably take Frimpong. And I'm a big Munoz fan. But Frimpong hasn't played in the position. On the other side, you got Mitchell and Kirkes.
Mitchell.
So I think you can. Season. Well, and you go from the best left back in the league last season, Kirkes.
Absolutely.
So did he become bad overnight? Absolutely not. He's not playing in something that suits him.
Well, it's not.
So I think you can midfield. You're taking Wharton.
Yeah.
And then you're probably taking. Well, you can take Mateta up front because you got Isak and Ekitike.
Oh, I can if I want.
But then you're kind of shoehorning. You know what I mean? Like there's.
I'm not shoehorning him in. I'm starting him.
And you're dropping the 2 boys to the bench.
What have they done? So apart from Ekitike, he's done okay. But like I mean, who are you starting?
So you maybe take 4.
Are you starting Alexander Isak over Mateta at the moment? Absolutely not.
Right now, today, no. However,
this whole season.
Yeah, but if we look at where the ceiling is, you have to remember that as well. Like what we've seen from Alexander Isak has surpassed anything we've seen from Jean-Philippe Mateta. So let's not go too far now. Do you know what I mean? That's... If you tell me tomorrow, listen, you're at Man United, you can have either of them 2. Flat 30 mil on either of them. Who do you want?
Right now.
I don't ever pick a player on what they do right now this minute. I pick a player based on what I've seen over a longer period of time.
We're about to go 13 games in.
Yeah, plus Alexander Isak was
plus Champions League.
Alexander Isak was one of the top strikers in European football last season. He doesn't become bad overnight. It just doesn't happen.
So who does that land on then?
Well, it lands with, the 11 not putting forward. It lands with the tactics being different. It lands with the setup of the squad being different. There's an awful lot, but you do not become a bad player overnight. I won't have that.
No, you don't become a bad player overnight. But look, listen, we seen it when we got rid of Torres and we brought in Andy Carroll, who was unbelievable for Newcastle as well when he came in and was an absolute shambles. So,
yeah, but don't even try and mention Andy Carroll.
I'm not mentioning him.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying, but you know what I mean. I'm not mentioning.
I wouldn't let
Andy
Carroll's name be mentioned in the same one as Voltamad, and he hasn't done half what Isaac did. So
right, let's get through these games anyway. Brentford versus Burnley.
Brentford versus Burnley. Brentford generally don't lose at home. So Brentford. Yeah, 3-1.
Nice. Man City versus Leeds. Leeds in a tough place right now.
Leeds in a tough place, and I think this will be we'll see 4 or 5.
I would have thought so.
Because I think he'll be a little bit pissed off because he's had 2 defeats so far this week, the Newcastle game and the Leverkusen game. I think he'll go out with a lot of players on the pitch on Sunday, a lot of guys looking to, restore faith and stuff like that. And I think you'll be wanting to try and get you'll be trying to get Haaland into your fancy football for this weekend, I'd say.
Yeah. Plus the fact that they had brought themselves somewhat back into a title race as well. Absolutely. Was disappointing last weekend as well. Like, it was disappointing that both of us dropped the ball at a time where we were trying to put a bit of pressure on Arsenal. Although it didn't happen, they blew Spurs away. But however. Sunderland versus Bournemouth is a good game, isn't it?
Should be a great game. Should be a great game. Our pal Semenyo, I think, is still 50-50 for this weekend. He didn't play last weekend, obviously. Yeah, I think so too. Our pal Semenyo didn't play last week against... If it's only 2-0, Joanne, I'll eat my headphones with the ketchup on it next week.
Shocked.
I have to tell you.
It's in the first 15 minutes.
Not unless they're playing Carl Darlow and the lad Perry and the other lad who was there last season. They're playing 3 keepers, but they keep it the bleeding 2-0. What was the other lad? Meslier, that's him. I think I'm actually going to go draw on it. Sunderland in great form. Got pipped off last weekend by Fulham. And Bournemouth just struggling at the minute, lacking a little bit of composure at the back. They're just shipping a few more goals than they have. That's making it difficult for them to get over the line. Although they did have some good news last week in the boy Enas Unal made his return from injury and actually got the score sheet and stuff like that. So yeah,
they did well. Lad. They did well to come back in that game last week. Actually, they
did, and they were unlucky not to win it. I think draw this weekend.
Are you thinking 2-2?
I think 2-2, something like that. Yeah.
Everton versus Newcastle. Everton to be flying high. You see the 2 boys, the video today, the 2 boys boxing?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
I think Everton will be flying high, and I think it suits Everton because don't forget, Newcastle were away this week in Marseille during the week. I know, Geordie land to Marseille ain't miles away. It's probably an hour and a half flight. So
they got beaten as well, didn't they?
They did, but I mean, like, travel-wise, you're thinking it's not too far. It's only an hour and a half flight.
Yeah.
But I think it's just more added game time, which is tough at the minute for Newcastle. Because the squad at times looks still a little bit bare.
They'll have Dan Bourne back, won't they?
They'll have Dan Bourne back.
He's serving a suspension, I think.
That doesn't always... they'll need him at Goodison because, Everton are obviously Tarkovsky and Keane and headers and volleys in the hole. But, I don't know. Wouldn't be surprised to see another draw there, maybe a 1-1.
Interesting. Tottenham, Fulham?
I'm going to go Spurs. I think they've had a tough week. They've obviously been volleyed at Arsenal and they've been battered. Wow. And they were, what's he watching? And they were battered in PSG. So, shipping a lot of goals. I think against Fulham, they'll find it a bit easier because Fulham aren't a scorer of many goals. So I think that'll help them. And I think they'll just do enough to get a couple. So I'm going to say Spurs 2-1.
2-1. We'll come to Acers now in a minute. If you're listening to Acers as well, if you're still listening, will you tell me why you think this? Don't just put it out there. Tell me why you think Liverpool will destroy West Ham 3-0. On the basis of what have you seen for
You
the
got to
last
make
6
an
weeks?
argument, and I don't really see an argument for 3-0. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. But right now, we can't see a basis for that argument. So
you're talking about us keeping a clean sheet to begin with. You barely kept a clean sheet all season.
Listen.
On the basis of what? We're going down to the London Stadium. We're going to play against a team that love balls over the top of runners like Bowen and Callum Wilson. What? On the basis of what?
I think it's a strange one.
Tell me why. Tell me why you think that's going to be the result. Don't just throw it out there. Fulham 2-0. Big shout, Joanne. Fulham 2-0 against Tottenham Stadium. Interesting. Into Sunday. Crystal Palace Man U. Down at Selhurst. That's a good game.
It's not a bad game. Now, the one thing I will say, and I'm holding on to hopes here. Thursday night football doesn't suit everybody. I've spoken about this. I mention it every year. So far after their games in the conference, they beat Fredrikstad. They then drew with Forest. Yeah. They beat Dynamo Kiev. They lost to Everton. They lost to Larnaca. They lost to Arsenal. They beat Alkmaar. They drew with Brighton. And then tonight they've been beaten 2-1 by Strasbourg. And then they have United at the weekend, which would tell me they might get a bit tired. There might be a little bit on the clock for them. And I think we'll get something out of it. I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Interesting. Joanne's going with 2-2.
Yeah.
Aston Villa Wolves. Kind of local derby there, putting the sword into the back.
Yeah, local derby. I think Wolves will put their best foot forward. It was a better outing last weekend under Rob Edwards and stuff like that. It still wasn't what it needs to be to get them the kind of results that they need to have and stuff like that. But I think it was slightly better. And I think the Wolves fans at times would have been like, all right, this could work. So yeah, I think he'll get have another week with the lads. You'll see him put another good foot forward, and Villa obviously at home after a good win tonight, 2-1 against Young Boys, and will be a little bit flat after it maybe, and I think they might just get over the line 2-1 Villa.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're Wolves at the moment. I think it's a kind of, you get the feeling it's kind of enjoy the rest of the season, really, don't you? Kind of thing. It's. I mean, if they went on a bit of a run, maybe.
Yeah,
I can't see it.
I think they will go on a bit of a run. I do think the only issue is going to be how far away are they when they go on the run.
I think I looked at Wolves fixtures there about a week ago, and I don't see a run of fixtures where they could look at and go, they could win 3 or 4 of those and put a few points on the board. I think they have kind of difficult games constantly sprinkled in between what you would regard not easier games, but slightly easier opposition. And I don't think.
But like if you look at when Victor Pereira came in, and the run he went on, he beat a lot of teams that you wouldn't have suggested he was going to beat. So there will be anomalies where they go and they beat a team that maybe right now we don't see as a possibility.
The pressure's immense at the moment, though.
Like 2 it is, but like games, a couple of wins, and you lift, and like that, the pressure they just needed to go in one way for a game or two.
I suppose the only thing they have to hang on to as well, that teams above them are in free fall.
Couple of them,
so yeah,
couple of them.
So maybe that might be the case as well. West Ham Liverpool. I think we spoke about, but still waiting on Acers to come back in the chat here and tell me what he thinks 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to sit in the fence and let the splinters end up my hole. I think 2-2. I don't think. I'm
not going to lie, I'd nearly take it.
I got to be honest. Right? I think, and we're in a different position than you are, not necessarily from a point perspective, but we're definitely on a more upward trajectory than you guys are, right?
Well,
if you look
what
at
have you
the
won?
result,
You've won 5 and 6 or something, haven't you? Oh, sorry,
whatever it is,
you haven't lost.
yeah,
Yeah, you're 5 and 6.
we're,
3 wins and
we're
2
moving
draws.
a better direction,
Yeah.
right? But I think if we have to go to the West Ham Stadium and play West Ham at the minute, I think I take a draw and move on.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not an easy place to go.
And they're looking much better.
And they're looking better. And Nuno's teams are tough to play against.
Mm.
If you get out with a 1-1, a 2-2, build on it and just, you know.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest, Brighton.
Forest with a big win tonight in Europe. Sean Dyche is just doing a phenomenal job there.
Can we just say that again? Sean Dyche managing a team in Europe.
And you know what? Like they were.
Would we have ever thought it?
They were like, listen, their last 5 results, yeah. Their last 5 results, they draw 2-2 with United. They go away to Sturm Graz and go 0-0. That's 2 draws in the bounce. They beat Leeds 3-1. They beat Liverpool 3-0. And tonight they beat Malmo 3-0. Like, that's Deutsch ball, baby.
And you know, so it's certainly not Deutsch ball. And if you look at them at the moment, did you look at this? I read some stats there last week as well. For people that regard Deutsch ball as Deutsch ball, apparently they're one of the most progressive teams in the Premier League at creating chances in the final third at the moment or something like that.
They've got some
insane.
really good players. They've got some really, really good players.
Elliot Anderson against us was Morello. Just
I mentioned when we had this conversation weeks and weeks ago about the Man United thing, I mentioned Elliot Anderson. And I told you, this is the kid I want. I like Beliebe. I like Wharton. I like Stiller. You know, there's lots of guys I like. I don't think any of these lads stack up to Elliot Anderson. I think Elliot Anderson is absolutely ridiculous.
When we smashed that shot last week, that was cleared off the line. And when the announcement came, because it was a cluster of players, and I was listening to it on commentary, I wasn't watching, and they went, Elliot Anderson with a clearance off the line. I went, fuck me, this guy is everywhere.
He is
everywhere.
Unbelievable right now.
Yeah. And
the thing I like most about him is, I kind of just check the profile. Something tells me he's 23.
And he's very unassuming as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something tells me he's 23. He is 23. If something tells me he's 23, because he is 23. He turned 23 on the 6th of November. As far as 23-year-olds go, right? I know a couple of 23-year-olds. They're absolute dickheads. They're muppets. However, this kid is real calm, real cool, doesn't get flustered. His whole game is based around control. You know, he's not flying into tackles. He can make tackles, but he ain't flying into them because he ain't on the stretch all the time, because he just sits.
He uses the ball like a 27-year-old in his prime, doesn't he?
Just beautiful. I would absolutely love to see a moment where I get to read the name Anderson on the back of a United jersey again.
You had one before, yeah.
I did, and I was a big fan of him as well. Because he shit on Fabregas.
There's a show. Keep setting our chat now. What are we going here? Forest Brighton. Are we going to get the Danny Welbeck show, or are we going to
Forest 3-1 and going with Joanne?
Forest 3-1. There's a shoot. And then we rounded out with Chelsea versus Arsenal, a game with plenty of jeopardy, top of the table clash. Both teams coming off fantastic wins during the week in the Champions League. Both teams looking very, very well at the moment.
Yeah. I think we spoke about this at the start of the week, and we said maybe they'd go and beat Spurs and give a couple of lads a break. And he did give a few lads a break. He did, because, you know, he took out Hincapié, he started Mosquera. He took out Calafiori, started Lewis Skelly. He put Moreno in. He does a few little tweaks. But they got over the line. I thought Declan Rice was just
gravy.
Oh my God. I'm watching Declan Rice and I'm like, oh my God, this lad is just ridiculous.
Do you know what bugs me the most about it? Forget about the Arsenal connection and how jarring the
Oh,
fans can be at times. Not, it's the fact we didn't tie him down for Ireland. It's a fucking sickener.
imagine, just
Sickener.
imagine.
Him,
Imagine right
Grealish,
now with what we
Liam Delap,
have, right? And,
Dewsbury Hall.
sure we can make a claim for Mason Greenwood as well. He's definitely got someone Irish in the background there, you know.
If not, we'll find a passport.
We'll absolutely like. Yeah, Rice is just. I'm gonna make a shout now. I'm gonna annoy some people. Will I annoy some people?
Go on, why not?
Declan Rice will win the Player of the Year this year because Arsenal will win the league title.
Declan Rice
Will be
Player of the Year.
Your football writers, your Player of the Year, your voted boy, anything you want.
Well, let's be honest here. Probably the 1, 2, 3 in those categories are going to be Arsenal players the way things are shaping up at the moment.
Well, let's not forget, Haaland is absolutely blowing spots off the goals, right? So Haaland's going to be up there. And then the other lad who's going to be in it is probably Moise Caicedo because he's up there with one of the best players on the planet right now for me. So you've probably got Caicedo, Rice and Haaland as your top 3. Right, if I give them out now, that's where I give them.
Does Gabriel feature?
Well, he doesn't feature at the minute because he's on the bench.
No, but you know what I mean. I mean, he's had a phenomenal season so far.
He has. It depends how much time he misses. It depends if he get the spot back. You know, I expect he'll get it back, but I don't know. If I'm doing top 3 right now, it's Rice, Caicedo, and Haaland. Haaland probably ends up third, and it's a toss up between the other 2 boys. But in the end of the season, if Arsenal end up winning the league, I think you give it to Rice on that basis. And I think he would be very, very deserving of it, by the way.
If your boy Eze continues his form, is he in the conversation?
Could be. If he continues as he did against Spurs and Bayern, he does. Yeah.
Absolutely, Joanne. And I hope you're enjoying it as well because they're absolutely phenomenal at the moment, I have to say. I don't think you could expect anything else from Arsenal or anything more at the moment from Arsenal. I just think at every level, I think every way they turn, I think they just, when you think they're going to stumble, they blow things away.
Do we have to give some credit to Mikel Arteta?
I think a lot. Surely Semenyo was in the conversation.
What conversation?
No.
What conversation are we in?
He's not in that. He's not moving in those circles. You're not mentioning Semenyo with Declan Rice and
He
Caicedo.
ain't moving with Caicedo, Declan Rice, and Haaland. Go easy now.
Yeah.
Have you had too many Red Bulls today, or what's happening?
Yeah, he does like him though. Is this a little Easter egg that he's going to feature in one of Ted's bets shortly? Are we preempting a bet here or something? Are we? I reckon. I reckon that's what.
Might be.
He's a very good player and he's an absolutely talented boy. And he's having a very good season so far. There's no doubt about it. But he ain't Haaland. He ain't Declan Rice. He ain't Caicedo.
No.
Like there's so many good players there in Arsenal at the moment playing.
Now, do you know who I'm mentioning him in with? I'd mention him in with a Brian and Bumo. That's where I have him. That's levels. Do you know what I mean? I have him in with Mbumo, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're at it, yeah. But like you talk about the other 3 boys, they are head.
You step outside the top 3 teams, and then he's in the conversation.
Oh yeah, but like the 3 boys are not head and shoulders; they are head and shoulders above everywhere else.
Yeah, but Ted, you got to remember as well that's not going to continue. We know that's not going to continue. We know there's going to be a drop off because we know it's going to Liverpool.
It's also not just about being on the end of, being on the end of things either at times. Like there are other ways to measure. The 3 lads, like, oh man, I can't see past the 3 boys. I really can't. And by the way, I'm a Semenyo fan. I mentioned them.
But you've Declan Rice performing in every competition as well.
Champions League.
Every competition.
Champions League, World Cup qualifiers. Like, he's just everywhere. You know? I think I'm going to upset more people, will he? Will he upset more people?
Go on.
Arsenal are going to hand it to Chelsea at the weekend as well.
Really?
3-1 Arsenal.
Really?
At the bridge.
At the bridge.
Yep.
What you thinking behind that, if you don't mind me asking?
And
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think Chelsea are much better against teams that are defensively susceptible, because I think Chelsea are a better attacking side than they are defending. And I know we spoke about Cucurella earlier, but I think from the set piece point of view, I think Arsenal are going to take a huge advantage of Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, I think not only
I think
that,
they're gonna pour piles of pressure on Robert Sanchez from those free kicks, corners, throw-ins, everything. And I'm going Arsenal 3-1.
Yeah, the Chelsea back line, apart from Cucurella, is kind of just a little bit fluid, isn't it? It's just a little bit fluid. And I think if you're going to go up against that Arsenal side at the moment, as powerful as they are from set pieces and corners and everything else, I think you have to have a proper back line there that knows.
The delivery is just outrageous.
Insane.
It's just outrageous from everything. Would it be how impressive would it be for Arsenal to go through a week of 4 against Spurs, 3 against Bayern, and 3 against Chelsea, picking up 3 wins and scoring 10 goals on the way? Would that be? That'd be right up there, right?
It's quite the opposite of us. We've coughed up 10 goals. Thanks, pal. There's the dynamic. Sack the bastard tonight, please. Sack that fucker tonight.
I can't believe this, man. Yeah. I really can't. No. Like, I'm shell shocked.
And you know what's worse? The two of us are going to have to sit here and watch Arsenal probably become Premier League champions.
Oh, there's no probably about it. I think we'll get to a stage in March where we can go, lads, pop over to the gaff and we'll polish the trophy for you. Marky, get it ready. Unbelievable.
We do want to see it.
I wonder,
race, though, don't we?
Do you know what we'll have to do, though? Because I'll actually be in possession of a few receipts at that point myself. For some of our Arsenal friends. When they have to go and bend the knee for one Mikel Arteta after he's won them a league title. I think that's going to be one of the best humble pies I've had to see eaten.
Will the narrative not change then probably from these guys? Because these guys, like, if you don't like a guy, you don't like a guy, right? Will the narrative at that stage not be, one Premier League title in 6 years, so what?
Will it?
Is that not the card they'll play to? So what? One trophy in 6 years, so what?
They might.
Because they spin the narrative that, like, the FA Cup was Emery's. Which is very unfair.
They might try to spin it, but I think it's the spin we might put back on it. The team he's built over the years he's been there, and how the squad has changed, and how he's put how the balance he's created, and the calmness from the inside out and stuff. I think Mikel Arteta's done a real decent job at Arsenal. I've said this previously, you know this. Can you imagine they won the league? Arteta would be more arrogant than ever. See the guy in the Emirates before he went to Pep's man suit, the title rip up Sarsa.
But you can't complain about his arrogance. These are people who want Simeone, who was fucking Arrogance FC. You can't complain about your manager being arrogant and then you go, get him out, I want Simeone. Who's the most arrogant bastard on the planet, probably. Let's be honest there.
I think at times Arteta can be a bit unlikable.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not necessarily from an arrogance point of view, but I think he can just rub people up the wrong way.
Which isn't an unusual trait for managers that are generally successful.
Well, if he's unlikable, What's the other swine? He is the devil spawn. Like,
he is the father. He's the godfather of it.
He is the figurehead. He is the face of HIV. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
His gravestone will be marked up with shit house on it.
Just, oh my God. He is just horrible.
Joanne, tell us this, because you're the perfect person to answer this in the chat, because you've been very tough on Mikel Arteta at times, and at times warranted. Like, how do you feel if he delivers a Premier League title this season, and maybe a domestic cup, but certainly a Premier League title? How will the narrative then be, oh yeah, but he didn't win the Champions League? Like, because they're either favourites or second favourites for the Champions League. Is that where the narrative will go? Why didn't we win both?
Here's a question.
What if he does win a Champions League?
What happens if they do?
Then we're statue time, are we?
Like, if he wins a double, I think it's a long way off right now. Because don't forget, at this stage last season, we were pouring water onto Liverpool, top of the group, top of the league, top of this, top of that. And it ended the way it ended. And, you know, like, if Arteta pulls off a double, a Premier League and Champions League double, they will need to erect a statue, because he will be the first manager in the club's history to bring them a European Cup. The European Cup. Yeah. Not a Cup Winners' Cup, not a UEFA Cup, the Cup of the Cups, cup. The Champions Cup. League. They will have to get they'll have to get a little lad out with a little chisel and chisel a little.
Joanne, what would you do if he's walking up with the Premier League trophy and he whips a light bulb out of the back pocket for the fucking crack? Like, I think, let's be honest here. I mean, he came into it. You know, it was a huge job to take on at a time in his managerial career where he is. Joanne has Simeone in her thing now. Look, he's the profile picture. I love it. But like, he came into it to a kind of, and like,
Simeone is 100% drowning puppies in a bag in the Thames. 110%.
Jesus. Like, we do love dogs.
Like, 110%. He's telling lads, if you don't run, I drown the puppy in the bag. 100%. That's Simeone.
If they win the double, they will be all over the pitch trying to snog Arteta, all the Arteta sexuals. Joanne, 100%. Joanne, how would you feel about it? I mean, are you going to be able to like at some stage he has to get some credit. Like, I mean, unless you're uncomfortable at the moment and you think he may bottle this league, I don't see it happening unless you get woeful injuries at the moment. And I'm talking another 8 or 9.
Well, in fairness, I wouldn't say he hasn't had injuries either.
No, he has.
And he absolutely has. And they've dealt with them like heroes. Like, they spent all that big money on Viktor Gyökeres in the summer. Lad's been out for the last few weeks. Haven't missed him a stitch. Haven't missed him. You know? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, I have to say.
Yeah, I think eventually he's gonna have to get the credit. He is gonna definitely have to get the credit. I think what he's done there in the structuring of it all. I remember we thought there was a lot of talk going around. Remember as well that Bertha was going to be the guy to come in and take him out of the picture. You know, that was going to be the. Did
you see the interview guys the other day when they spoke about the squad? And he talks about Bertha and the job Bertha did in the summer to arm them with the tools and to arm him with the kind of tools that he needed at his disposal to win a league title. He looked like he knew exactly how to handle Bertha, I have to say. Very good. Very impressive from Mikel, it was.
Yeah, but Joanne, you're probably going to be... You could be 14 points ahead of us this week.
Now, in the nicest possible way, they ain't fucking looking at you guys right now. It's gonna be.
Bournemouth ain't. Sunderland aren't even looking at us right now.
But this is my point. So it's gone. Their eye is always going to be drawn to City, and it's going to be what's the gap? What's the gap?
And probably Chelsea, yeah.
I don't know.
He does drop some good ones. He does
He's
drop some good
just
ones. Drowning
brain.
puppies in the bag in the Thames.
Do
He
you know
is,
what?
yeah.
Do you know what I would just never forgive the guy for?
Mm.
The heartache and pain he put my David Beckham through over that bollocks on the pitch, yeah? When he went down like he'd been shot. And he was supposed to be one of their hard men in football. And then all of a sudden, we're burning effigies of David Beckham in Ewood Park. Get a hobby, lads. You're a creep, Simeone. We don't want you in the Premier League. In Beckham, we trust. And Adidas are better than Nike as well. Predators, come on.
Get in. Right. Do you want to have you any bets for us? Or is Ted any bets for us? Me, any guesses around Ted? If you've any bets, don't drop them in there.
I have two. I did them for you.
Very good. And
Like
you looked a little busy at times, all right.
Did I?
Yeah.
Jesus. Right. You know, I usually do goal or assist. Yeah. 100% Ted. 100% Ted. I agree with you. And I don't like the guy I mentioned, the other lad. But I agree with you, Ted. Here's my tipping of the hat this weekend. So, just to score, right? Not goal or assist, yeah?
He's no bets for us this week. He's been flat out in work.
I got you, pal. Don't worry. I got you.
I know the feeling.
The boy Igor Thiago at home for Brentford against Burnley.
Yeah.
Even money, I reckon he gets one, right? Haaland home against Leeds. I think you can pick how many he gets. He's 2-5. Eberechi Eze to get one against Chelsea. Continue the form. He's 11-4. And another man who's in quite good form at the minute. Got a goal in the Parc des Princes and got a goal at a Worldie last weekend against Arsenal. Didn't get a card, mind you, but Richarlison, 17-10. So, Thiago, Haaland, Eze, Richarlison, anytime goal scorers, 30-1.
If you get 3 of them up and you're waiting on Richarlison, will you please just cash out?
No.
Please, honestly, like he cost you your bet last week and you're putting him in again this week.
I have faith.
Punish him. We never truly liked him. You didn't really like him.
I've always liked him, unfortunately, but you knew that, didn't you?
How was Eberechi Eze 11-4 for a goal or an assist after last week's performance?
It's only a goal. It's not a goal or assist.
Oh.
Yeah, all of them are goals only.
Okay.
And then my second bet is result and bout to score, because that's my favourite. You know that one?
Yeah.
Brentford at home against Burnley. Right, so I reckon 3-1 Brentford.
Yeah.
Spurs at home against Fulham. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. And I had him in last week, Ted. I got the bump off him.
What points do you get for that if you have him in for that for a hat-trick?
20.
Nice.
So he got 5 points per goal. 3 5s 15. 2 for minutes played is 17, and he got 3 the bonus. So he got 20. Now, there was 106 people in the world of fantasy football. There's about 9 to 10 million people played. There was 106 people had him triple captained.
What do you get for that then?
You triple your points, 60 points.
60. Jesus.
You only get to use your triple captain once a season, though, so think wisely.
That's a great time to use it. That's as good as it gets, is it?
Well, it is, unless you get someone that has a double game week and scores 15 in 2 different games.
Or you have Haaland who's bagging 5 a game or something.
You see, there you go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see a lot of people have Haaland triple captain this weekend, with Leeds on the horizon after a couple of defeats and Haaland getting a little bit angry on the sideline.
You're not going with Mo Salah against West Ham, no?
I'm not. I'm going Brentford, I'm going Fulham, and I'm going Aston Villa, all result in bout score, and that's 50-1. So I give you 30 and 50. What more could you want?
You're going Brentford?
Spurs.
Yeah. Oh, Spurs. Yeah.
And Villa. All at home. All result in bout score. 50-1. Don't say I don't give you anything.
That big enough Rob Edwards didn't last too long.
My defensive contributions. Oh, it's twice. So it's once before Christmas and once after, is it? Might have to use me triple captain then Tedward.
There you go. Twice this year. Ted's on the fantasy. Do you still do the Champions League one now?
No, I don't think there is a Champions League one, is it? It might be
there
something
is,
one of the newspapers
no, they do, because they're putting it up at the moment. They put up a thing on Twitter today from the Champions League Twitter account, fantasy football points, and I had Mbappe there. I think he got 22 or something like that because he scored 4. Yeah, so they definitely do. I'm nearly sure they do anyway.
Did he score 4?
Yeah, he scored the 4 goals last night.
That's interesting.
He scored a hat-trick in 7 minutes.
I knew he got a hat-trick, but I didn't think he got the 4th.
Really sure it came up he got the 4th. No? Yes, I'm wrong.
I don't think...
Top seen him with the 4th, no?
You have... He did, you know. He did. Oh, do you know what it was? Now I know what it was. He scored 3, right? And then Vinny scored. So Vinny scored and the goal was disallowed. So I seen Madrid go 4-0 up. And obviously it was Vinny. And it was disallowed. And then Vinny set up Mbappe on the hour. And he made it 4. Okay.
I suppose with the Champions League one, there's probably so many players in the pool to pick from and everything and all. Like it's insane.
36 teams in the competition gives you a big L. You know, really does.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it, folks. Another show in the bag. I will have a show probably out today or tomorrow. A West Ham preview. Enjoy. It's going to be interesting for sure.
We'll try.
Might try and get the thoughts of Dino as well. I'm sure he's back, so I'm sure he's very, very disappointed in what he's saying. But hopefully he enjoyed this trip away anyway, somewhat.
Absolutely.
And I'll also be back on Saturday at 12:15. Survivor Series watch along.
Does he have a big birthday this weekend, Dardino?
Yeah, I think he turns 50, doesn't he? I feel like he turns 50 after yesterday. I'd say, no, Dardino's turning 40, and hopefully, he's gonna, it'll be cool. Yeah, good to see it. Pool is okay. It's just remembering to grab it, and it's midweek. Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Bren, lads, a brilliant show. We'll see you all again soon. Absolutely.
Thanks, Bren.
Tuning in, brother.
Absolutely.
Right, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. I would really appreciate that. So would Darren. And we'll talk again real soon. Keep an eye out for all the wrestling stuff going out as well, plus the football coming at you thick and fast every day at this stage. Cheers, folks.